Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Khadijah binti ZAINAL. My metric number is A175634. In this video, I am going to present about my final year project Chapter 1 until 3. Firstly, my title will be Investigating the Changes Made by COVID-19 to the Vocabulary of English Language Used in Online Articles. The three main topics that I will cover in this video are Introduction, Literature Review, and Research Methodology. Background of study. Language is a social element that is always evolving, modifying, and expanding. The dynamic character of language enables them to cope with upheavals, crises, and unforeseen occurrences. The ability to adapt in living languages is a universal feature. This change is influenced by a variety of variables, ranging from formal linguistic qualities like phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics to non-linguistic components like social and pragmatic aspects of language usage and cultural interaction. This research will be examining the rapid changes in English vocabulary as a result of the coronavirus epidemic as an extra-linguistic cause. From a small outbreak to pandemic and infodemic, the virus spread effect vocabulary English in online articles has evolved linguistically. The ongoing coronavirus outbreak and pandemic has significantly affected human condition around the world. In a way, vocabulary evolution has not been an exception, specifically English vocabulary that are being used in online articles. Ideally, quarterly updates of new words added by the dictionary editors will include their scientific and technical terms in the dictionaries only if they gain a certain amount of recognition outside of their professions, and these updates have been made commonly in March, June, September, and December. However, the emergency wave caused by the coronavirus pandemic has paved the way for new words to be coined to describe material changes that have become commonplace in people's daily life throughout the world. According to Lawson 2020, the novel coronavirus compelled individuals to adjust to the new circumstance by adopting particular phrases that help them make sense of the changes that have suddenly become part of our regular life. The aim of this study is to investigate the newly formed English words used in online articles during pandemic COVID-19 and the type of word formation process among the newly formed words during COVID-19. The research objective for this study is to identify the new words that result from the COVID-19 pandemic in online articles and to examine what type of word formation process commonly used for newly formed words during COVID-19. For the research question, the first research question is, what are the most frequently used newly formed words from COVID-19 in online articles? This first research question is to investigate the most frequently used newly formed words that emerged during COVID-19 through online articles and identify which words are frequently used to spread the awareness of COVID-19 in online articles. This research will be conducted by going through a coronavirus corpus. And the second research question is, what is the word formation process commonly used for words related to COVID-19? The second question is to analyze or examine the word formation processes that take place in the words that are most frequently used newly formed words during COVID-19. Types of word formation process that might be involved in the creation of these words are borrowing, compounding, blending, acronym, clipping, and back formation, etc. This study are significant to observe the changes in English vocabulary through the internet, especially online articles, which much shows the impact of COVID-19 on the most frequently used words in online articles among people. It also studies how the English language has adapted to the changes brought forth by COVID-19. Because language is dynamic, it adapts to the new event in society, such as introducing or coining entirely new words into their vocabulary through word formation processes such as blending and acronym, or old words gaining new meaning or old words gaining currency due to an emerging and trending situation. This study has potential limitations. Because of the yet-to-end pandemic COVID-19, this research study could come out with a different result if conducted in a few years' time. Besides that, this study is not comprehensive because the English language is still undergoing a development and changes and it will never end. Furthermore, this study needs a further development as it doesn't have a sufficient amount of previous studies as COVID-19 are still ongoing. Another limitation for this study is the difficulties to get an accurate number of data from online platforms, as this medium is continuously operating daily without stopping, as the number of times for online articles to be updated and published online are increasing. Body of knowledge. According to Pattern 2020, it is rare for lexicographers to see an exponential growth in the usage of a single word over a short period of time, and for one phrase to come to dominate global discussion, even to the exclusion of most other problems. However, COVID-19, which stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019, has just contributed to the raising in the usage of words in a short time. As the disease has impacted the life of billions of people, it has introduced a new lexicon for the general population, which includes scientific terminology from epidemiological and medical, new abbreviations and phrases to communicate the social consideration of compulsory isolation and distancing. According to Ibrahim et al. 2020, aside from the economic and healthcare sectors, communication has undergone significant changes just in terms of language elements. Because language is a fluid concept, it is influenced by a number of factors and causes, resulting in the creation of new words and phrases as well as changes in the meaning and usage of frequently used social, psychological, and even medical terminology. This research study was based on the study of Ratti and Gustian 2018 in a Journal of Culture, where they stated word formation process is generally known as the phenomenon which is so close to human life in the world. In the meanwhile, according to Hacken and Thomas 2013, the word creation process is the act of creating new words based on a set of principles. However, according to Murray 2021, words in a language can be produced through blending or portmanteaus, which is the process of combining two words to create a new term that mixes their meaning. Unlike compounding, however, just portions of the words are generally utilized in blending once they have been clicked. The term COVID-19, for example, is a blending of Coronavirus Disease 2019, resulting in an entirely new term or word. COVID-19 is made up of the first two letters of three distinct words, a number, and a hyphen as a connecting element. Partial studies. According to Asif et al. 2019, with the spread of global illnesses, new language and terms arose. The proportion of linguistic coinage connected to epidemics and pandemic has also increased in recent decades. Based on the study conducted by Wong et al. 2020, many countries have dealt with the outbreak by employing social distancing techniques, which emphasize constraining physical contact to the bare minimum necessary for daily survival. This has increased people's reliance on internet platforms to stay connected for information, business, education, and social reasons. Platforms like Google Meet and Microsoft Teams have witnessed exponential growth in users during this period. This research was qualitative in nature. According to Rihizan et al. 2010, good data income can be achieved by a well-designed form of research based on the design appropriate. For example, the technique utilized in the process of acquiring research data. In this study, the researcher chose to do a qualitative research approach to emphasize on the production of meaning to understand social phenomena by taking into account things that are not touched by quantitative studies, such as one's views and peculiarities, results of planned and unplanned consequences. Furthermore, this study is required to collect the newly formed words data from past year studies, therefore, it does not need a questionnaire. The sample of this study is the past year's journal articles and online news articles websites, such as yahoo.com and nst.com.my. A total of 10 past year studies will be used to collect a list of the newly formed words. A few examples of the newly formed words are covidiot, coronial, coronation, and more. The list of newly formed words will be run through the coronavirus corpus one by one to get the frequency data of the most used newly formed words on online articles. For the research procedure, this study is using the observation method as its instrument. The list of newly formed words data that were collected from 10 journal articles published online will be used to run the observation in coronavirus corpus. The data frequency obtained from coronavirus corpus will then be used to answer the first research question. The second research question will be answered by analyzing the word formation processes that take place in the words that are most frequently used newly formed words during COVID-19. The newly formed words will be categorized into a few types of word formation processes that might be involved in the creation of these words, which are borrowing, compounding, blending, acronym clipping, back formation, etc. For the data analysis, analysis is a process of breaking down a particular topic into components and understand how those components fit into each other. Through this study, the researcher used thematic analysis to analyze all the data obtained. The words will be analyzed for which word has the highest usage frequency in the online articles, and then the newly formed words will be analyzed to categorize the word formation processes. For now, that's all from me. Thank you.